Hi, this is Rasheed P. Welcome to the Leading Lines. I'm really happy today to welcome you all to my conversation with Mamta Joshi. Mamta is an educationist, a teacher, an abacus course instructor, a speaker, and a student empowerment coach. She earns the franchisee of a children's skill development program called UC Mass from Margao, Goa. Originally from Karnataka in India, Mamda lives in Al Jubail city of Saudi Arabia with her husband and children. Hello, Mamda. Welcome to the newest episode of The Leading Lines.
Thank you so much, Rasheed. Thank you so much for having me today on your show. It's my honor to be here with you today.
It's indeed my pleasure. Manda, in all dimensions, you are an educationist. You are 100% educationist. You have been leading a career in education for many years. What made you to choose the education path? Was it out of your passion or the situation or your peer pressures made you go for a career in the education industry?
Okay, I would like to tell you an incident from my life. What happened actually? I remember at the time when I was a high school student, and during those days, we lived in a small town actually, and there was no such fad of going for tuitions or coaching classes at that time. So, coming home back from school, we studied at home, and I was very good at academics. I was good at math, and being the eldest in the family, my siblings approached me with some doubts and difficulties, and I helped them. And soon the word started spreading to my cousins, and they also started coming to me for guidance, teaching them with their homeworks and some difficulties in maths. And I tried my level best to simplify the calculations, to give them tips and tricks to remember the things. And in return, I got some gifts from my aunts. Now, I really don't know whether that made me stick to teaching them, but after some time, I noticed that I really started becoming happy by teaching them. And there was one cousin of mine who was studying with me in my same class, and when I was explaining her, teaching her all the clearing her doubts, I found that my concepts were becoming more clearer, and without any efforts I was able to remember so many things. So I knew, and I started enjoying that thing. I really didn't understand how the time flew when I was teaching them. So I knew this was an activity I would definitely come back to if given a chance at any phase of my life. So it is more of a choice, I suppose, entering into the education sector.
It's more of a choice to enter into the education sector. I can understand that. It's about the inspiration that you got. It's the values that you reflected on the way to your life. Let me ask you something else. That's very important. What is the one great value that you would keep instilling in your children all these years?
The value to say would be commitment, because that's the fundamental principle of success. Now we know wherever our attention goes, the energy flows and the things start growing over there. However, for the things to really bloom and flourish, what you need is commitment. Now, commitment is not something like you make a promise, but it is something more than that. You need to put in the dedication, you need to put in hard work, you need to be you need to have courage. And definitely when you are on your journey, you will have different challenges coming up, there'll be different obstacles on your path, but you have to be true to yourself. Think of the bigger picture, have the moral compass to show you the direction, and always be committed. So this is the principle I tell my children to instill in them. so that in order to achieve great results.
Yeah, commitment. Commitment is more than just a promise. It's more a dedication or a hard work. Mamta says that you need to be more true to yourself. That's really interesting. When it comes to the skills development programs for children, for your children, or for the children that you teach, what is your philosophy to take that process forward?
Yeah, when we talk about the skill development in children, there are five different areas of skill development that we need to look into. First is the cognitive, then there is the language development, then there could be motor skills development. That is fine motor skill development and gross motor skill development that is related to the muscles, using of the muscles. Then there is social and emotional development, and so on and so forth. Now the abacus, USMS abacus that we have started, caters to the cognitive skill development. Now, this abacus improves the learning capability in children and provides them with the lifelong learning skills, like children develop acute observation, proper listening, and kinesthetic or a tactile form of learning, okay, which the child can use in their academics and also in other aspects of life. Now, with regard to emotional, language, and social development, we are planning to come up with a project called You Matter. Now, U stands for uniqueness. Now, growing up in children, it can be very challenging because there are so many hormonal changes taking place in the body. They have relationship problems, and children are not able to communicate, and they start losing focus, and then it gets reflected in their studies. So the main purpose behind this program is to identify the uniqueness in the children, helping them to acknowledge their thoughts, their emotions, which are very unique and different. Now, in children, we find different personalities. There's one group of people, children who are very aggressive and bully sort of, who are very hyper and they throw tantrums, and then there is that other group who's very shy, timid, self-doubting, and they're not able to express themselves. So in general, giving them the confidence, the support, that in spite of having differences of opinion, they can express their thoughts in a more constructive way and still gain acceptance. Actually, what do the children need? They need a comfortable atmosphere, a non-judgmental ear to listen to their problems and guide them through their confusions, right? So this is the main objective of the program You Matter, that I'm planning to start.
That is fantastic. The moment where your children start finding solutions by themselves is where their skills are developed. Thank you so much for that insight, Mamta. And the concept you shared, you matter, and the you stands for uniqueness. Really, really interesting. Let me ask you something else. You are an abacus instructor and an expert in remedial teaching. What is it? What is the remedial teaching? How does that create an impact in your children?
Yes. Remedial teaching is done for those children who fall behind in their studies. Now, and they need some proper guidance, short-term guidance or support in their academics. Now, we do this usually by giving them one-to-one attention, or sometimes we form small groups of children, maybe three or four in one group, and then one person is assigned the duty as a leader, and he is in charge of those four members. Each person is given a particular task, and they are answerable and they are accountable to each other. So everyone is positively interacting, is participating in that group. So that is taken care of, and it is observed that when children work in small groups, definitely the learning is very enhanced. So this is with remedial teaching that we do it for the children who really need support. But there is another concept called remedial education. Now, remedial education is not only restricted to those children who need support, but it is for everyone. Each and every child needs remedial education. Now, even an intelligent child sometimes is not able to do well or perform well in the competitive exams because he doesn't have that particular skill. So when the child develops that skill, masters the skill, his competency level improves, and that show it gets reflected in his grades, and his confidence level improves. So remedial education is really very important to build the skills in the children to develop their confidence.
Fantastic. Remedial teaching, which is all about team building. That's what I understood. And the teamwork, as we used to say, teamwork is the dream work. And that is the advanced mode of skill development. As an educationist, what are the innovative techniques of learning emerging in the education sector now at this moment, especially after this new normal world? What is the future of the education sector?
Now we are living in a digital world, and there is change of technology every now and then, coming up with different technologies. But the main challenge of this era is the short term attention span of children. We are finding that children are not able to focus or concentrate for a long duration of time in while studying on a particular topic. So we as educationists have to keep the children engaged and excited and make the learning very fun. Brain research has shown that there are different ways in which the learning could be enhanced. The first technique could be visualization. When we visualize the things, the information gets stored in the permanent memory, in the long term memory. So by creating the mental images and by mind mapping, children can comprehend better, remember, and analyze what they read. Also, technology could be brought into the classroom, and it's already been done, and now children are sitting in the house and learning in this COVID period. So technology has come into the in their bedroom, or it has come into their hall, in the drawing
Yeah.
room, and otherwise in the classroom also we could use the technology in the form of audio or video, or we could have different platforms in the classroom, like Zoom and Skype, and then we could call the subject, the one who is the master in the subject, we could call and have an interaction with him. So there should be any active learning happening in the classroom. There should be brainstorming of ideas, or do some online research, chart out the ideas, discuss ways to meet the challenges. So there should be a lot of thinking, talking, sharing of information in the classroom. Now the Indian Union Cabinet has approved the new education policy, and a lot of investment is done in the R&D sector, and but this has to be done with a great priority, because if we want to really make India as a global knowledge superpower, now in this age of artificial intelligence, robotics, and international competition, the need of employment sector has completely changed. And if we teach the children the way we did 15 years and 10 years back, this is really not going to help anymore. So we have to change our teaching techniques. Now the future is going to be full of opportunities, but it is also going to be full of uncertainty. So as educators, our focus should be building on those skills so that the children can make right decisions under the conditions of extreme uncertainty. So creativity or entrepreneurship, teamwork, interdisciplinary learning, this is really the need of the hour. So our focus should be on how to solve the problems and learn independently. Children should be able to learn independently, not spoon fed as we had been doing before. So with so much of disruption going on, many people will have to create their own jobs. So find the pain in the marketplace, shape your learning around those problems, and this is going to be the future of the education, I feel.
Fantastic. Short term attention span of children is the main challenge of teaching them for by parents or by teachers. So visualization is the best solution. That is a key to help them practice it and develop their skills. And learning is not learning should be independent for children. It should not be a spoon feeding activity or practice. Now, Mamta, let me ask you about the other dimension of your life. Spirituality is a major part of your life, your thought, your work, and your passion. You call yourself as a spiritual psychologist. What is spirituality in your understanding? How does this make your life more and more meaningful? And more importantly, how did you connect spirituality with psychology?
Yes, spirituality is really very, very close to my heart. Now, the term spirituality, it's a very broad concept, and different people have got different perspectives about it. For me, spirituality means connection to a higher power, understanding my true nature, what is the purpose of my life, and what is the meaning of my life. That is what I feel spirituality is about. And the studies have shown that, and I too have experienced that spirituality really helps in coping up with the everyday stress and the negative feelings that generates in our mind. Now, spirituality teaches us to be very grateful for all the things that we have. And when we are grateful, positive feelings are developed within us, and we start responding to a situation instead of reacting. Before, something happened and then we just reacted without thinking much. But now, with the practice of the spirituality, you take a pause, go back, think over it, and then respond. So there is less anxiety, better health, both physical as well as emotional. So there's a positive association of spirituality and the psychological well-being of a person, I feel.
Interesting. That's really interesting. Spirituality is all about what is the meaning of our life, isn't it?
Yes, true.
Yeah,
Very true.
spirituality that teaches us to be more grateful about life, more grateful about what we have achieved, how the way we live. So we always have to take a pause and think back and then respond to our situation. That's really interesting. And my last question for now is that suppose you're a messenger in your life. What is your life philosophy, or what is the one message that you would be spreading in the world as a messenger?
Okay, the message that I would want to give is never stop learning, because the life doesn't stop you teaching. So be open to learning the wonderful things happening everywhere, every time. And we should keep learning because it enriches our mind, it develops our skills, and it changes the way we look at ourselves and our surroundings. So learn from your failures, consider them to be a stepping stone instead of considering them to be the obstacles or hindrances on your path. Just take them as a stepping stone, climb over, and move on. So also learn from the situations, learn from different people. I feel everything happens and every person comes in your life to teach you something. So understand the message and keep growing and keep learning.
That is interesting. So interesting. We started with education, your life as an education, and now we are concluding it about with the message about learning. That is really wonderful. Learn from your failures, learn from your successes as well, and take everything as a stepping stone. Learn from your situations, learn from others, learn from everything in life. That is a message that I would love to live on with. I would like to reflect on in my life as well. Thank you very much, Mamda Joshi, for sharing with us all these great insights, all these wisdoms on education, on skill development in children and in adults as well. the remedial teaching, spirituality, the importance of psychology, and a lot more and more. With this lot, let me call it a day. Thank you very much to all of you for watching this video. The Leading Lines is coming back to you very soon with another exciting episode. Bye bye till then. This is Rasheed P, the Leadership Visibility Coach from the Leading Lines. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rashid, for having me on your show today. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.